Cruise news time. Well, the stormy stories continue. More cruise delays. MSC Cruise Line has just announced a really big sponsorship, and there is a concerned cruiser out there that has sent a letter to the management of Carnival Cruise Line saying that the way they do the safety drill is illogical. I don't think it was signed, Mr. Spock, but it's illogical, and they want it changed. Should they change it? Cruise news and my views. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Lido, Loca. I am your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news and views for your face. It's for your face on Monday, December the 18th, 2023, and well, it's going to sound like a repeat of the last few days. We have more cruising delays because of bad weather here in Florida and really all the way up the eastern coast of the United States and even over in the Gulf of Mexico. The latest cruise ships to be impacted by all of these impactions, a couple Carnival cruise ships. First, let's talk about the Carnival Pride. She was set to return to port yesterday morning, port of Tampa. Well, that didn't happen because of bad weather and fog and all that kind of stuff. The Carnival Pride was forced to do their debarkation and embarkation of new guests around 4:30 p.m., which is normally the time that cruise ships are leaving ports. But I believe everybody's on board and the Pride's going on with her next sailing. Hopefully that'll be the same circumstance for another Carnival cruise ship, the Carnival Sunrise. She has been delayed on her return to Charleston, South Carolina. She was supposed to get back early this morning, but instead she'll be back this afternoon for a late embarkation and debarkation. And then, of course, yesterday was that day where it was supposed to be super busy down in the port of Miami. 9 cruise ships in all, I believe, was the tally. Well, none of them were able to get into the port. It was closed until 9 a.m. yesterday. Big shout out to viewer Tom Beatty, who was watching the Miami port cams all day yesterday, keeping up with the ships that got in and out. He noticed there was really 7 ships that were kind of delayed. Carnival Horizon, Carnival Celebration, Norwegian Encore, MSC Divina, Royal Caribbean's Grandeur of the Seas, Royal Caribbean Oasis of the Seas, and Virgin Voyage's Scarlet Lady, all getting into the port of Miami late, working through that debarkation and then embarkation process. And all in all, it seems like all the ships finally got out of there about 10:30 p.m. last night, which that's pretty late for Port of Miami. This has got to be the most delayed cruise ships I've ever seen at one time. I've already heard from a lot of you. Anybody else out there impacted this weekend while cruising? Leave a comment below. Now, while I am inclined to race to this next cruise news story about MSC Cruises, I would like to take a pause and thank the sponsor of today's episode. Today's episode is sponsored by Private Internet Access VPN. Now, I'm pretty sure that none of us are walking around willingly exposing our ATM PIN to the world, but many, if not most of us, are exposing our private personal internet data to the whole internet, to the prying eyes of hackers and identity thieves. This especially happens when we use those public Wi-Fi hotspots, the ones you find at hotels and coffee shops. Private Internet Access VPN is a tool that you can use to encrypt your data, to hide your data from identity thieves, from hackers, from prying eyes on the internet. Private Internet Access VPN is the world's most transparent VPN provider. They never store or record your data. They have 24/7 support and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Now, with support for Windows and Linux and Mac OS, iOS, and Android, you can cover all of your devices with PIA VPN for just one low subscription price. And look, PIA VPN, it doesn't just protect your data, it helps you in those scenarios where a website or a streaming service where they block access to content when you're in a certain country. Imagine this, you're in London and you got a hankering to watch the classic baseball movie, The Bad News Bears, and you know Netflix has it. You saw it in your queue, your recommendations when you were at home in the United States, but guess what? You get to the Netflix there in the UK and you got no Bad News Bears. Well, fortunately, with one click, you can connect to a server in the United States and you're back in Bad News Bears business again. Now, excitingly, you can try Private Internet Access VPN for a discounted price just by clicking the link in the description, www.piavpn.com/LaLidoLoca, and you'll get a big old 83% discount off of your subscription. That works out to be $2.03 a month, and you get like 4 months for free. So a really good deal. make sure you check out that link in the description. And a big thanks to Private Internet Access VPN for sponsoring today's episode. All right, let's talk about the new sponsorship announced by MSC Cruises. They are sponsoring 2 full-on Grand Prix races in the 2024 season. They've been a partner with Formula One for a while. That partnership extends into 2026, but this is a big move. They're actually going to be named in a couple of the race titles. The 4th race of the season will happen in April next year, and it's going to happen in Japan, and it's getting the name MSC Cruises Japan Grand Prix. And then in May of next year, they will be slapping their name on an Italian race. It will be the Formula One MSC Cruises Gran Premio dell'Emilia Romagna 2024. This race will take place in the Italian city of Imola, which is in the metropolitan area of Bologna. I would love to go to Bologna. I believe there's a big I'm sorry. It just sounds like Bologna. Imola, this is a very significant area for Formula One. It was where the very first Formula One race occurred. There's a big Ferrari connection there. Back to movies. There's this new Ferrari movie out with Adam Driver. Haven't seen that, but I heard it's good. I heard an interview with Adam Driver on a podcast recently. Conan, maybe. Yeah, I got to add that to the list. But Imola in Bologna. Gosh, I got a cruise announcement that has Italy in it. I'll save it till the end. Either way, what I'm trying to say is that MSC has spent some money to get some billing on these Formula One races. I always wonder if this kind of marketing spend equates more sales of cruises. I'm sure they've got the numbers on it. It's got to, I would think, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the breaking point is. I would be fascinated to see the numbers on that. But I like racing. I was born in Indianapolis. I live next to the track. Do you like racing? Do you think that the juice is worth the squeeze when it comes to these MSC sponsorships? Or would you rather see that money put into the cruise experience? Leave a comment below. Now, let's talk about this concerned cruiser who reached out to Carnival management saying that they should do away with the brand new e-muster process because the process is illogical and less effective than the old muster drill process. I've seen this argument bandied around before. I don't know how the old muster process is any more effective or any more logical than the new e-muster process. Let's go through what happens during the safety briefing. Safety briefing, you have to go to your muster drill. You have to personally locate your muster station. That happens in both the old muster drill and it happens in the new e-muster process. Physically going to and locating your muster station happens in both processes. Another key component of the maritime safety drill is a presentation of the policies and safety procedures that is set forth by the cruise line and by the cruise ship. In the e-muster process, that happens by watching a pre-recorded video on your mobile device or watching a pre-recorded video on your stateroom TV. In the non-e-muster process, that presentation usually is provided live by a crew member. I guess some debate could happen there. Do people pay attention to the presentation on the mobile phone, on the TV? Do people pay attention to the presentation that's given in person? I've experienced both, and I say that the level of people not paying attention is about equal. I've seen people completely ignore the in-person presentation, and I've seen people completely ignore the on-the-phone presentation. And so I don't know that you could quantify which one of those is more viable because, I said it even before there was an e-muster process that a lot of times when you go to the in-person muster drill, people don't pay attention at all, which I felt like was a problem. And then the final component of the safety drill is a check for compliance. This happens when the cruise line scans your ship card or scans your wearable to make sure that you participated in the safety drill process. And this is another one of those steps in the safety process that is exactly the same. There's going to be a crew member at the muster station, which you had to find who will scan your card to affirm that you found the muster station, that you have complied. So I really don't understand what the beef with the new e-muster process is. I think it's 100 times better than the old process. One thing that you don't have in the new process that you had in the old process was waiting for other people to show up for the muster. This made you dependent on other people to be on time and to get to the right place. You had to wait for them to get there before you could complete your muster station and go on with the rest of your life. I think that this e-muster process is completely empowering. You still have to do all of the same things. You have to find the muster drill. You have to watch the safety presentation. You have to be checked off by a crew member, but you can do that at your own timing and not be dependent on a bunch of knuckleheads who are not going to show up. Now, I guess you can make the argument that, it takes a village and that we should be responsible for the knuckleheads, but at the same time, I think it's just a drag if you have to stand out there on the deck for 15 or 20 minutes while they're trying to track down all the people that couldn't figure out how to get to the muster drill. I don't know. It should be pretty obvious right now where I stand on this. Do you stand on the opposite side? Do you think that the old way of doing the muster is safer or more logical or gooder? If you were the head honchos over there at Carnival Cruise Line, would you acquiesce to this concerned cruiser's worries about the e-muster process? Well, heck no. They answered pretty quickly. We're not going back to the old process. Duh. This is so much better, gooder. Do you think Carnival should make the change? Leave a comment below. And I know gooder's not a word. Somebody got all fired up the other day because I was using gooder. I'm playing with the language here, people. And now I promised you a cruise announcement, and a cruise announcement you will get, but I would like to invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything going on in cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of these episodes. We're marching our way to our next milestone. 250,000 subscribers. Would you be a part of that number? Let YouTube know that you like the show. Subscribe, hit that like button, and be a part of the Loca fam. Thank you in advance. All right. I've started to get some clarity on my schedule for 2024. I got a big update coming out later about my thyroid. I won't go into it here, but I did get some more information about my thyroid on Friday, and I can't wait to share that with you. But it did open up the calendar a little bit, and so last night I booked the inaugural Sun Princess cruise out of Barcelona, Spain. And well, the main motivation was to, of course, go cruising with my friend Don Terrace. The boys are going to take on the Med, and I booked the excursions today. I am happier than a third grader because everything I learned about in elementary school, I'm going to get to, not everything, but so many things. Pompeii, can we just say Pompeii? If you know, you know. The Acropolis, I'm fired up. I'm excited. Sun Princess, February the 8th, 10-day cruise in the Med. Whole new set of countries for me. Whole new set of places to show you guys. Fired up. Fired up. Look, thank you guys so much for checking out the show today. Big thanks to PIA VPN for sponsoring the show. Protect your internet out there. Click that linky link. So Tony for Lido Loca. Until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye. Cruise news. Cruise news. Cruise news, it's over.